Yeah.
You always got to have a good old jumper, don't you? Like I've got one on the hook at home when it gets a bit cold. But
Has it got holes in?
It's actually, this one hasn't arrived with holes, but the last one took holes before it left.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah, it's underway.
7 changes. Mitch, how are you feeling about the squad going into this weekend?
Yeah, it's a good combination. We're excited, obviously. Yeah, like you got to earn the right to contest a championship. So we've been able to do that again. I think we've experienced a lot of adversity through the competition, and with all the various changes, and adapted well to that. So I think we should use that to our strength.
And of course Sadia is back, which is great news, but was it a bit tricky deciding that 7 shirt with Marlie in such good form at the moment?
Not tricky. Marlie's in great form, and it's really, we're also going to have to finish the game well as well. So, Marlie's leadership towards the end of the game will be important. We've got now, definitely got now in mind, but also, we're dealing with growing for the future as well, and being stronger. So it was really, really good that Marlie was able to present a good case. Ultimately, she understands that Sadia's coming back from injury as well, so you don't necessarily put an injured person coming back, on the bench, because that's a risk.
And Meg, you're coming to the end of your first tournament as captain. What have you learned through this process, and how's that been for you?
I think the biggest thing is probably not taking everything on, and being able to delegate when you need, and understand that different voices are just as important. So that's been huge. Obviously with the adaptability of the squad as well, and just trying to remain calm as much as you can, because sometimes you get thrown different options, and you just got to adapt on the hoof, and that's just how the game is. Sometimes the game's unfair, but we've just got to be adaptable and be in a position to roll with the punches when we need to. So yeah, been super proud of the girls this whole campaign. Like, everyone stepped up massively. We've had, speaking about Sadia, then she stepped up from a leadership point of view as well. Same with Pax, she's always been there for us, and Sarah Byrne and Lil as well. So yeah, they're all been huge assets to us, and it's been an amazing campaign.
John, for a France away game, is you have to do anything different to prepare for that type of atmosphere, or having played at Twickenham so many times, is that not such a big thing for the team?
Well, firstly, you respect them because of the style of rugby they play, and they've been good in this tournament as well, but they haven't played us yet either. So you got to put that into context. We just got to continue to be courageous around our game. As you can see, our game's evolving. We're definitely developing our game. It's not a game that's in decline, but it's a game that's preparing for now and the future. So that's really important, and that's where we're at, and that's where our focus is at as well.
You make Olympics, Twickenham, these big occasions. How does an away game against France and Bordeaux compare with some of those things?
Yeah, every game is important and special, really, as soon as you put that shirt on. But we're fully aware of the challenge that's about to arise, and they love their rugby. They love supporting and making as much noise as they possibly can. I'm expecting the band to be on full flow. So it's going to be an amazing atmosphere, and I've heard it's an amazing stadium as well. So another one to add to the list.
With Chris playing last week and Liz playing this week, people that sort of still have full-time jobs outside their rugby. For you, is obviously slightly further along sort of professional journey. What was that like for you to have those players taking part and sort of welcome them into the environment, and think back to how there's still sort of a way to go for women's sport to have that sort of fully professional environment?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the players you've just mentioned are full of resilience. The way they are able to, come in and switch on and switch off based on the other circumstances as well. But yeah, it's definitely probably one of those things that you take for granted when you've been in it for so long. I think I've been pro now for over 10 years, which is huge. So, but there's obviously still players within the PWR and still having obviously come into England setups as well, and still having to earn their cash, earn their way to live as well. So yeah, we're fully aware of that. We empathise, but to be honest with you, you wouldn't notice any difference. They understand that when you come in, you're switched on, and this is the game at hand, and this is what you have to turn up for. So yeah, they're two remarkable humans, and have been showing up consistently for us.
John, have you had to do anything? We were just looking at the forecast. Have you done any preparation? It looks like it's going to be potentially a wet weather game, bit of sort of storms around.
Really, no, we'll just deal with it when it happens. Selection hasn't really considered the rain, but I think if you look at the selection, if it does rain, there's enough skill set in there to deal with that. France and England is always it will come if that does arrive, then set piece becomes even more important.
And you talked about the disruption and everything you've had to go through this tournament. You know, if you go on to win a Grand Slam, given all that, do you reckon it would be one of the best achievements of your career, one of the best ones that the Red Roses have had in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's already been fun, really. It's been awesome. I think I put on the phone today our 20th player change this week. Yeah, with the girls that are pregnant. So we obviously lost one this week, and I think we got 3 back. So, but we've had basically 20 changes throughout the tournament. So, yeah, putting that in place, I think it's a credit to the staff, and it's a credit to the coaching staff and the way that they've been able to make it really simple and clear, and engage the players in a way that has allowed them to get on with the game that we want to play, create an identity that we actually look like we're enjoying playing.
Meg, do you think the squad's better for everything that, you know, building the depth that you've had to sort of go through these changes and these enforced absentees?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess either makes you or breaks you, doesn't it? So, but I think we've definitely risen to the occasions, risen to the challenges. And yeah, I'm pretty confident that the girls if those that have experienced what they need to experience, will put them in good stead in years to come. And then the players we have now are fully adaptable, and are big contenders on the world stage anyway. So yeah, we've got a very strong squad. Very much looking forward to the challenge we have.
Sort of lead England to a Six Nations title on Grand Slam. Just have to think.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm like the complete opposite of outcome focused. Every day is just foot in front of another, based on how I feel and what have you. But yeah, I'm sure it'd be an amazing occasion lifting that trophy. I think that's what you kind of manifest and you dream of, really. But the biggest thing for me as an individual is to make sure I'm there and showing up for the girls and the team, and leading by action, which is huge for me.
Bitch, you mentioned the word fun there. Have you personally enjoyed sort of the challenge of going through the changes and thinking about your squad week to week this championship, perhaps more than in other campaigns?
Yeah, I think it's because it's firstly Six Nations is a great competition. And then obviously you've got the experienced players who've got a lot of belief, and then obviously there's the energy and enthusiasm of the new players, and then there's the continuity of the coaching group with some added knowledge, and then you've had a medical team and a operations team that's had to go through all the changes. So we kind of, like, as we're both speaking, we kind of adapt and respond because it just makes us stronger. We're dealing with now, and we've put ourselves into an opportunity to earn the right again. But it's process that drives us, and it's what strengthens us that drives us, I think. So we actually thrive on different challenges and stuff, and I think ultimately, at the end of the day, as we continue to evolve our game and develop our values have been retweaked since the World Cup, and I think they've also been some great examples of how they've played out as well. So this all just leads to ultimately experiential learning for something that we'd like to do down the track in 4 years' time. So for us, it's just a chance to gain awesome experience. If you look at this combination potentially could play in World Cup in 29. Just imagine all these girls with another 30 or 40 test matches on them by the time we get there, and then obviously you've got some of the girls that will have to fight their way back, won't they? That's just the way the Red Roses are built. So we're in a good place, and that's why it makes it so fun.
And it's almost impossible to criticise a team like yours that, you know, wins so convincingly week to week, but obviously you have leaked a few kind of more tries than in previous years here and there. Has defence been more of a focus this week, or has it been the same?
I think if defence is the easiest thing to tweak in the world. We're not declining by any means. We're just very, very good at attack. And yes, we do need to fix some areas in defence, but we've got time to do that. You can't build everything straight away, but we'll get there, and we'll grow and learn from it. So yeah, we definitely are paying attention to some of the areas where we have been exposed, or it's come from our own control, and that'll be the test of how good we will be going forward. As I said before, France haven't played us and we haven't played them, so and we've both got different strengths. I
know much of the focus will rightly be on Sunday, but I was looking through some of the Six Nations youth series stats, and England had never beaten France in the under-18 series or the under-21, formerly known as the under-20 series. Just wondered what you kind of made of that. Obviously the 21s got quite heavily beaten last week. I think it was like 71-7 or something. How much attention are you sort of paying attention to what's coming through underneath?
Yeah, definitely. We've obviously the pathways produced 5 girls. For us, I think we originally had planned to cap about 3 girls during this tournament. So it's been 5 girls, and we've had to also rely on quite a few others to help us in preparation. So yeah, the pathway I think is definitely heading in the right direction. I don't know what the correlation is, why we get it right at the top level in France don't necessarily bring all that talent through. But the way we're going about it obviously eventually helps the player learn and arrive at the standards that are required to play for the Red Roses. I guess if there's one thing in the pathway that's a difference between the two sides is that the French girls probably play against boys for a little bit longer in their age group, and we look a little bit collision light in our pathway, but that's something that we can address.
Lastly, Meg, just for you, there's been a lot of noise recently about all these expressions of interest from Wales and Ireland to join the PWR. As someone who's obviously played in the league for a while now and played alongside girls who are, like Liz, I guess, still juggling jobs and that, do you see it, or would you see it as a positive for teams from the other nations to join up?
Yeah, I see it as a bit of an interesting prospect, isn't it? I think to have more calibre of players in the league, and to also see investment from those sides of the party as well, and those sides of the bridge. So yeah, definitely I think it would probably elevate, if all parties were happy, definitely elevate the competition. It might also then, you would lose probably less Irish and Welsh players within the league as well. So yeah, I can't see why it wouldn't be a detriment to the league at all.
Nice. And does a France week feel different to other weeks, given what's riding on it?
Yeah, weirdly not. I think this man takes all the pressure away from us. I think is one of his super strengths. He's so calm. He reminds us what the game is, and you don't need to make it bigger than it already is. And he trusts what we deliver, and we do score some amazing points, and we are our biggest critics, and that's what makes us world leading in so many avenues. So yeah, I think there's a level of calm, there's excitement. we're aware of the challenge that's about to lay in front of us, and we're just going to have to earn the right. We're just going to have to make sure that we can earn the right in every occasion. The small moments are going to be a big difference, particularly in the contact area. So we're going to try and front up as much as we can, and they're very much looking forward to it.
Nice. Good luck.
Thanks, Fee.
John, spoke to a few of the girls before the tournament. They said they're going to have this France game earmarked. But before this, with all the previous matches, kind of been building to this moment in particular, or is it kind of one at a time?
Preparation, really, getting the right performance. That's all we're focused on. But yeah, each opponent, they allow you to exploit different opportunities, and obviously they have different threats. So yeah, it's just for us. It's just back into processing and identifying where we can get them. Really, it's as good as that, or as simple as that. Really, I think it's very simple. Clear, be clear, be simple, be clear, and create an edge, which is no different for any opponent.
And then Meg, I think it was Helen that was saying that he's expecting a massive response post the semi-final against France, kind of physically as well. How are you guys preparing for that, and are you really relishing the kind of chances for that?
I think you naturally get up for those games, like you know what's about to be laid in front of you. So you get up for every game, but you know Le Crunch is coming in full swing. So I personally love the contact area. Something I've always wanted to get stuck into. I think it gives you so much energy around the park, and if you get it right, you can really galvanise the group together. So yeah, no, it's going to be important, that area, and we're gonna want to front up as much as we can, and it's going to be a proper war zone. So we're looking forward to it.
I missed the beginning, so apologies.
No, you're all good.
Yeah, all good. Yeah.
He's always late.
Oh yeah, get my feedback. Only time this year. Sorry.
This amazing winning streak and run. What, for both of you, like individually, would you say are the key factors in keeping that going?
I generally think it's the way we look at ourselves. Like, we look at opponents. Yes, we're fully aware of what's about to be laid in front of us, but we're so diligent on the small details, and standards are always huge for us. How we're showing up for each session, we try and hold ourselves accountable for everything, and no one's out to get you. It's a very safe environment, so if someone's calling you up on something, it's for a bigger purpose, and that's kind of how the Red Roses have always been. This high standards and wanting to be world leading, but it happens within, and I think that's really important, because he can say as much as he wants about what he thinks is the best, but if players deliver it and show up on that front is way more powerful, and I think that's some of the super strengths we have is how safe the environment is, and we're willing to challenge each other on every front, really.
Yeah, it's also like we love being the standard bearers of consistency, and with that, we're saying, like, we know that come and get us, and somebody's going to get us. We understand that reality, and we shouldn't be disgraced if somebody does get us. So it's becoming exponential in that sense. So again, I think that little bit of edge as well drives us, because we don't want to give that up easily. And like I said earlier, is that we're anyone can pick on our weaknesses. But ultimately, we'll look to fix them. But that doesn't mean we're in decline. We're actually developing and evolving, and maybe we're evolving, a lot quicker than a lot of people realise. But again, we get another chance to test it on the weekend. That's what we embrace and thrive in.
How would it feel if someone does get these?
Sorry.
If we do get caught.
How would that feel? Do you even think?
Oh, we'd be the same. We'd be the same people. Carry on.
Yeah. The sun will rise.
Yeah.
They just stay positive. And do you think more about winning then, and the joy of that, than what could happen if you go?
Yeah, we don't really think about the win, essentially. I think people always say, you got this winning streak. We'd never really mention it, like as a group, which is it's a bit crazy, I guess.
And that's not being arrogant either.
No, I think we just we are generally, honestly, the competition level, like, putting on a shirt is huge, but then performing in the shirt is even greater. Like, you don't want to, there's been ample of players who probably have put on the shirt but haven't performed and then haven't been back, because that's the standards we kind of bear. But yeah, no, it's one of those. We won't ever change based on the outcome, and the outcome looks after itself. We just got to do the bit in the middle, which is the bit we can control.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks, guys.